Oh, you did. Ah, all right there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My hair is more crazy today than it has been in a long time. That's because I am absolutely just about at the end of my rope. I am just about completely gassed out. I have officially been burning the candle at end A and end Z, the front and the back end. And sometime around 3 o'clock this morning, I started burning the candle right in the center. So I am asking everybody to continue your thoughts and prayers for the family, but you might be sending them my way too, folks. We are dealing with total chaos here where we're at now. Grandmother's still in the hospital doing that thing. We don't really know anything more there. About 3:30 this morning, my grandfather started showing signs of the norovirus. And about 6:30 or 7:30 this evening, my stomach started getting a little gurgly too. So, as much as we've been at the hospital the last couple days, it is very well possible that he now has this new norovirus, and because I have been staying with him and because I've been at the hospital myself, it's very possible that I too am in the starting period of this norovirus. Well, and here's the thing, Joey. I was thinking, if my stomach is gurgling and the show is like what gives me a little bit of peace of mind. Just kind of sitting here and talking and getting to think out various political theories and thoughts and share the stories. Because listen, whether I was videoing this or not, I would be doing this right now anyways. So I'm like, yeah, might as well video it and film it. So that's what we've got going on. I have been preemptively taking a little bit of I am taking a little bit of Imtrol for kind of coating the stomach and preemptively hoping that will help me. I'm also doing some like Pedialyte and Gatorade. Of course, I've got my water as normal. So you're not going to get me down with any kind of dehydration. Are you kidding me? So I'm preemptively battling the thing. I hope I don't have it. I hope he doesn't have it. But we'll see. He's not feeling very well. He's kind of gurgly. And like this morning, like literally was throwing up and having diarrhea. Isn't this pleasant to talk about? But we are in the Midwest. And if you have been alive and in the Midwest for any length of time over the last week or week and a half, you will be aware that we are dealing with a massive norovirus outbreak. So please, for the love of God, listen to what I'm getting ready to tell you. We're going to have the doctor on here in just a few moments, and she could probably tell you too. But please, 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 please wash your hands. Wash your hands. The little Purell does not kill this norovirus. Soap and water are what you need to defeat this. Don't be licking on your hands after touching doorknobs. Maybe try to keep away from people a little bit. I actually have went back to, and I know that people's like, what, mask? Because I wasn't a big COVID mask person. But with this norovirus and what I've done, I've actually been wearing some masks in places and around. So I'm doing my best. You can still lick windows. The windows are still safe to lick, and the paste is still safe to eat. So we're going to be getting into a lot of political talk tonight. This is the 148th episode of the Political Spotlight. I, of course, am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. This is the thumbnail setting the standard, the importance of having a standard process in politics, election board meetings. We're going to be talking about Madison County. That's going to be the focus. We're going to have the doctor on with us. We have special guest Katherine Callahan. She's going to be on with us. We're also going to be talking about Henry County. We're going to be talking about Randolph County. We're going to be talking about the state meeting. And we're going to be talking about part 2 of the Delaware County meeting. So all of these things are currently on the plate. They're all on the plate for this week. We've got a lot of stuff to look at, a lot of stuff to deal with. So please feel free to share this video and do what you can to get the word out. Obviously, voters registration is still underway. If you're not registered or if you need to update your voter registration, you can do that by going to www.indianavoters.com. Again, that is www.indianavoters.com. You can vote, register to vote, or change your registration or update your registration, and you can do that until 11:59 p.m. on Monday, the 8th of April. So we still got a while, but just letting you know. Okay. Before we get started, I do have to give one major update before we get started in all the politics and before we get connected with Katherine. I do have to give an update on Mr. Louis David Galligan. You know, I don't know. I think that Louis is weird enough that he might check in and watch these from time to time to see what's being said or whatever. And I just want to say this. Louis, if you are watching this, your best bet would be to go to your nearest law enforcement agency, whether that be in London or that be somewhere in the States, and turn yourself in, because I believe that the law enforcement from the sheriff's department in Randolph County I believe they are coming for you. I believe they're going to find you. And if you don't do that, please stay out of Randolph County, because I'm telling you, the amount of phone calls and messages that I've gotten from folks today, I'm just letting you know, unless it's with law enforcement, I'm out of it. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, if I were you, I'd be staying the hell out of Randolph County. Randolph County, and I'm not going to say much about this because this is really early, but Randolph County was rocked with just a horribly senseless, sad, horrible suicide today, of a young person, and I fully hold I'm saying this. So if anyone out there, like any of the Galligan family or whatever, feels like this is slander, let me tell you personally, I'll slander Louis Galligan. Have him contact me to sue me personally. We'll set that up, okay? Louis, come sue me personally. But I just want to let you in, and we'll deal with that, okay? We'll come to court, and we'll take care of you, and we'll get you taken care of there, all right? I personally hold Louis Galligan responsible for the death today. As far as I'm concerned, and I know it can't be construed as murder, but as far as I'm concerned, Louis Galligan now has blood on his hands. And I just have to say that I hope they continue screwing up the charges and amping up the charges and amping up the charges. And I can absolutely say that, yeah, you know what? I don't give Josh any credit, because Josh is playing games now, and he's a pathetic excuse for an individual. But he did take himself out of commission by putting himself in jail. Now they've got to deal with that. Louis Galligan he's not even man enough to say, yeah, I did this. Yeah, this was me. So to hell with Louis. You're a sick individual, and I don't know. It's a horrible situation, and for anybody that is giving Galligan money, they're just as responsible. For anybody that's giving him safe keep, for anyone that is allowing him to stay with them, like Louis needs to be living on the street, eating dirt, if he's going to be on the run. For anyone that is helping him, they are absolutely as responsible for this. They're responsible for his actions. Yes. I see. Joan, I'll contact you tomorrow, Joan, and tell you what I've heard. I wish I would have had a chance to do that before tonight, but that's why I'm not going to say much about this. But I'll contact you tomorrow and tell you. But Lewis, from what I've heard, has been threatening people. He has been, from what I'm hearing, is threatening victims. He is threatening children. Juveniles, victims of this case. He's been making threats, and it's ridiculous. It's because he's dealing with juveniles that of this. So Joey, yes and no. He's not related to Art. It's a by marriage type of a thing. Okay. Yes, they can get him in. They can absolutely extradite from England. England is very extraditable. England works with America all the time on that. And the warrant is a warrant in which they can use Interpol and U.S. Marshals and whatnot to work back and forth with London, the Met, and do all of that. So yeah, if he's picked up in England, he is absolutely able to be arrested and brought back to America and serve out his time. So yeah, like Katherine said, England has off the chain facial recognition. They're one of the first countries that went hardcore, like Big Brother, like way early. They've got cameras everywhere, and anywhere you are at in England, you're on like 10 different cameras. So the thing is, he doesn't stay in England. He bounces back and forth. He bounces back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So I do not believe that he's going to be hard to bring to justice. And I cannot wait until he has to face and here's the thing. This is just here on Earth. I mean, the thing is, Louis is going to have to answer for what he has done to a much higher judge at some point. And Louis, you need to be getting right, brother, because I tell you, I don't know how you're going to do that. So I just wanted to get that message out of there, and just please say thoughts and prayers for. There's a family tonight that is dealing with just an absolute horrible loss, and I don't want to say any much more because I haven't been able to. I've not confirmed any of this, and I've not confirmed what I'm saying with the family, so I don't want to make any. I'm not going to do that, but my thoughts and prayers are with the people that are going to be touched by this, and you got to talk to your kids, man. If there's anything going on, and let them know that they need to. Maybe it's not both mom and dad. Maybe it's not mom and dad, period. Maybe it's grandma or grandpa, or maybe it's an aunt or uncle. But your kids have got to feel like there is someone that they can talk to, no matter how much trouble they're in, no matter what they have done or what's been done to them. They have got to feel as if there is someone that they can talk to. They cannot think that they are going through life, because I'm telling you, it's way much different even than when I was 10 and 12 and 13 and 14 and 16. Life is so much more different, even for children today, than it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So it's just a horrible situation, and my thoughts and prayers are with the family. And I'll be honest, I'll even throw a prayer up for I'll even throw a prayer up for Louis, because he's going to need it. Yeah, and absolutely, what the doc just said there is very true. If there's ever anybody out there hurting, I'm not a police officer any longer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a psychologist. But I do have a phone, and I can listen, and more importantly, I have connections to all of those people, and I would be willing to help anybody in any way, or connect them to help, more importantly. So, yeah, if there's ever anybody out there that needs some kind of help in some way, I can. If I can't help you, I can get in contact with people that can. So, you're definitely free to do that. All right, moving into the political aspect of this, we've got a lot to talk about tonight, and there's a lot going on. I do want to remind everybody, again, just to make sure that we are all on the same page. Okay, this has changed a bit. So the Delaware County. Oops, I can actually officially change this now. Give me 1 second here, and I can edit this to say the right thing. So the Delaware County Election Board meeting is going to be at. This will be easy. Doop, doop, doop. It's going to be at 1 p. And the 24th, it's going to be at 2 8. And it's going to be 0 2. Delaware County. Okay, Madison County, Henry County. Oh, yes, it's going to be Wednesday. We better put in the date there. That's what we're missing. Wednesday. Okay, now I can save that. And so now this is proper. The election board meetings this week. It's a little out of whack because it's got tomorrow, Wednesday, Delaware County first. But the meetings are as follows: tomorrow, Monday, February 26th at 1:30 p.m. Both the Madison County and Henry County election boards will be meeting. That is tomorrow. Tomorrow. Okay, and then on Tuesday, the Randolph County Election Board will be meeting on the 27th at 9 a.m. And then also on Tuesday at 10 a.m., the state will be meeting. And then on Wednesday, big Wednesday, we will have part 2 to the Delaware County Election Board meeting will resume, and hopefully we will be able to successfully complete that meeting without any crazy emergency meeting, emergency happenings or anything like that, because and that's what happened last time. And funny enough, I'm going to be putting a records request in place tomorrow for the documentation surrounding the situation that happened last week. Because I've heard, I think this is right, Madison, Henry County, Monday the 26th, Randolph County, 2/27/24 at 9 a.m., and the state 2/27/24 at 10 a.m., and then Delaware County is Wednesday the 28th at 1 p.m. So that is now correct. But I have recently been hearing, for the last maybe day or two, some scuttlebutt that when the event happened last week, and there was like some joking, like, "Oh, they called in the gas leak because it wasn't going their way. They called in the gas leak because they needed time to figure out a loophole." I pretty much laughed about that. I pretty much was like, "That's a joke." I mean, I didn't give that any actual thought whatsoever. I did not give any credence to that. And then something happened, and we heard maybe we need to look into that. So I will be looking into this, and maybe it's a weird coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences, but maybe it's a weird coincidence. Or maybe there's something there. So we'll have more on that. I'll be filing a records request for that tomorrow, and we'll let you know more. All right, without further ado, I would like to go ahead and bring up the doc. Oops, I didn't do it there. I think I messed it up. There we go. Ta-da!
Well, here we go again.
Are you muted? Oh, no, I thought you were muted. Hello, hello. What are you doing? How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
Okay. Hey, listen, tomorrow's the big day, right?
Tomorrow's the big day.
People don't even know how excited you are, right?
It's like Christmas.
Right. And I think to start this show off tonight, for all you Madison County viewers, Bree has made a reel, and it's off the chain. So if you want to know how tomorrow's, I'm going to give you my crystal ball. I'm going to tell you something. I'm not winning anything tomorrow. Okay. So I'm just going to put that out there. And tonight I'm going to prove to you how broken the process is. None of these challenges are about the people. It's about the process. It's about the corruption that goes on in Madison County.
Yes.
And so this is a very fitting reel. Now listen to this.
I am not going to get into a debate other than say that it is the Indiana law that they must have two primaries for parties you want to affiliate with. And that's why the challenge was filed. It's not a gender issue. The law was not written for specific genders or cultures or anything else.
No, it was actually written so people wouldn't party hop, but you keep signing off on all these Democrats so they can't.
I don't know who all these as plural is. We'll have to have that conversation another time. There is a provision for a waiver by the chairman, but there's not been one requested.
Because the chairman doesn't take the calls.
What's this thing here? Who is telling the truth? Aren't these people on the board sworn in to tell the truth during this meeting? So it was a little quiet, and I've since went back and listened to that Henry County meeting the other day, and people can hear it at home. But if we can, people were able to hear it. Go ahead and let's just kind of talk about what happened there a little bit for the ones that might be hard of hearing.
I was in the challenge. This is 2022. I was in the challenge because I only had a 1-vote primary. And so I'm getting challenged as a state delegate. Like, you picked 12 and we had 15 people running in that area. So, I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll try this. I know. I will tell you though, when I turned in my candidacy form, I didn't even get to the parking lot, and I got a call from the election room. And they said, "You're going to get challenged." I said, "Absolutely." I was expecting a challenge. Like, I mean, do you think I'm not expecting this? And that's why I picked a state delegate, because I didn't want to screw up somebody else's seat who might be running for something else.
Right.
So I picked the delegate seat because it's the less of all the evils. So Russ says to me during this is a sworn event, is it not, Kristopher?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, I'll put it to you this way. No, that's a very good question. The folks that are giving testimony, you and I are under oath. However, someone brought that up to me the other day. We didn't hear or we didn't see.
They get sworn in.
They didn't get swore in. Now maybe they swore them in when they first got. I don't know, but it's to me.
Here's what I believe. The clerk has a sworn oath when she takes office.
Yes.
I believe the GOP does too. Right? When they take office. So maybe they don't have to do it on every one of them. They're just supposed to always follow the rules, right?
Well, sure. Yeah. The election board is definitely a very serious board, and they should be, honorable, and they should be telling the truth.
Yeah. So I don't know if Kate can bring up the grid sheet, and if people will be able to see this grid sheet when we pull it up. This grid sheet, so this grid sheet, this is where Russ is like, I don't know what you're talking about, me signing people off. Okay. At the very bottom is during my challenge. That's in 2022. There are 9 people in there that he signed off on. Look at their voting history. NPH means no primary history. These people haven't voted. Okay. So you see these Democrats in here that he's signing off on. That's what he's doing. I mean, then we come up to the 2023. Look at these people. No primary history. Now you got Marquest Higgins. He's getting challenged. He voted in Republican in another state, but they won't consider that. It has to be 2 in the state of Indiana.
Yes.
So he's being challenged on a technicality. But look at Tiffany Harless. She's a Democrat. I mean, look at all these Democrats or these people who haven't pledged an alliance to the Republican Party, but yet he's doing this. Now, to make things even better, you can take that down just so people can see. To make things even better, everybody knows I went for a caucus in 23.
Right.
And when I went for that caucus in 23, about 3 hours before the caucus, Russ Willis sent out an email to all the precinct committee members. And he said, by the way, I want to remind everybody, Katherine always voted Democrat.
Yes.
Until the 2020 election. Well, that's a newsflash because you challenged me. So I'm starting to worry about Russ's ability to remember things. Perhaps he may want to inquire with a doctor or a geriatrics doctor who can maybe give him some medicine that deals with maybe early dementia. I don't know. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Me personally, in my evaluation of him, I don't believe he's in early dementia. I feel like we have a broken process. I believe that the process is, different strokes for different folks, depending on who you are. So tomorrow we're going to see a lot of this process. But what I want to do tonight is I have the videos of the challenges. Now, originally, I was going to talk about how we were going to attack tomorrow's challenges. But you know what, Chris? I think that'll take the fun out of the video tomorrow.
I think, I really think it would. And it gives them a little bit of a leg up of maybe to know what.
After I watched you and David Williams out there, and it seems to me that you got several on your board that have early dementia.
Yeah.
I believe that we should review some of the previous films for Madison County, okay? And then I'm going to tell you some of the challenges that are going to take place tomorrow, which directly contradicts the challenges that Russ is making.
Sure.
So I have all the challenges in front of me. We have 5 people who are being challenged on the vote roll.
Okay.
So this will be interesting because we'll talk about that. We have 2 or 3 people who are being challenged regarding their address not matching. So this is going to be interesting too, because I'm going to show you what Russ does on some of those. And so we have 26 challenges altogether. Out of those 26 challenges, it's 18 individuals. So some of the individuals have more than one challenge, just so you know.
Okay.
So it's going to be a pretty big meeting. I actually think Madison County is going to break the record for the state this year on how many people got challenged. Trying to find
how many total?
We got 26 total challenges, but 18 individuals. So a couple people are being challenged. Like Mark West, you know, he not only is running for commissioner, he's also running for state delegate and precinct committeeman. So he's running for a couple. You know, interesting thing with Mark West Higgins tonight, if everybody's watching, his case is really going to be a very interesting one to watch. Russ Willis signed off on him in 23 to run at the city council for District 6 against Joe Newman. What makes it even more interesting is that Russ and Dina Willis personally donated $500 to Mark West's campaign in 23, and now Russ won't sign off on him in 24. Why?
So my question to that is, if he's not a Republican in good standing to be able to run, and Russ donated to him, does that not call into question Russ and his standing with the party? Because I'll tell you, over here in Delaware County, if you are a Republican and you donate to, say, a Democrat, or if you donate to someone who is not in good standing, the Republican Party has a problem. And I'll tell you, in 2020, the Republican Party actually challenged someone over here for that. So, you know, if Russ is...
I know that, like, over here in Delaware and Randolph County, isn't it part of the party rules for the Democrat Party that you can't put a sign for an opposing party in your yard if you're the chair?
Yeah.
Or vice chair?
Mm-hmm.
So I would think the same would hold. I think those are state rules, aren't they?
I think that there are specific rules that are party rules, that are state party rules. Then there are some that are
County level
rules. But yeah, that's a very good that's a very good question.
I mean, if you can't put a sign in your yard, you definitely can't be given money.
Oh yeah, that's
well,
nuts.
and here's the thing.
Yeah, so I mean, he might have to be removed as chair for donating.
Well, people need to pull Tiffany Harless's and see what if he donated to them, and they need to see, did he donate from the Lincoln Club or was it from his own personal account? And so these are the trying things. You know, I believe Mark West should be given a fair shot. I believe he should be given the opportunity. But I think as you watch this show tonight and the previous challenges, you're going to see the bad deal that Mark West is getting ready to go up against. And I want everybody to know that Mark West did in fact reach out to Russ, and he did it after the fact, because, you know, it made complete sense. You know, Mark West thought because he got signed off in 23, he'd be good for 24. But it does say, when you read those letters for the challenge, that it's for only that year, right? So Mark West, in good faith, before the end of the filing deadline, February 9th, he reached out to Russ. Russ met with him. Now, I don't know if this is a bully tactic. I don't know if this is an intimidation tactic, but I would think that this would violate the GOP chair as well. But he shows up and he says to Mark West, hey, I got 2 forms for you, and I've already got them filled out for you. So let's start with this one I have filled out for you. All you have to do is sign it. This is for you to withdraw from the election because I'm not going to sign off on you. Mark West just kind of, okay, and looks at him and he goes, and if you don't do that, I have this Can 1 form already filled out, and all I need to do is sign that. And I'm going to challenge you and not allow you to run. Now, Madison County, the process is broken. Who is in that race? Devin Nork and his boy, Ricky Gardner. And so these are the things people need to start paying attention to. It's the process that's broken. And it's been broken by the people in power. And that's what's so shameful about the whole thing. So, you know, I hope Mark West goes in there tomorrow. I hope, you know, it's an interesting thing because there were several more challenges that should have taken place. But the election room, the election board, including, and let me be honest with you, I don't have a problem with Linda Smith as the clerk, but I'm starting to have a problem with the process.
Yeah, absolutely. No question.
Because we asked for these records on Monday, and it took people to physically go in on Thursday in the afternoon to get the records. We had less than 24 hours to review those records and those challenges. Less than 24 hours. How are you going to go through that many when Russ has been doing it?
While the party, Russ, and quite possibly the Democrats, had since Friday the 9th.
Yes, and an entire.
I want to tell you guys something. This is very serious. For literally all my life, I have went to the clerk's office in Delaware County. I've done it in Randolph County. I have done it in Madison County since well back, even before I was broadcasting, when I was just involved in politics. So for years and years and years, I was just involved with politics, just as a private citizen, as a politico that was helping candidates. Sometimes I would run myself as a candidate. I ran twice, and I've worked on plenty of candidate committees for local, state, and federal office. And there are many, many, many elections where I would go to the clerk's office or I would make a phone call the day of the filing deadline and request copies of the documents, and I would have them in my hand the day of the deadline. A lot of times I would have them within an hour of the noon deadline or 2 hours. There were a couple times I would have them just 10 minutes after the deadline. And that's something that they would happen, and they would give them ready, and they would give them to newspapers. They would give them to like Channel 8, Channel 6, Channel 13, Fox 59. And I've noticed over the last couple of years, this is something that the clerk's office, definitely in Delaware County, but a lot of other places, have started doing this thing where they like there to be this great big long period between that. Now, I will give the Delaware County Clerk's Office credit. They gave me the files on the Monday following, which I had a week then to go through. So no harm, no foul. But I sent in a records request to the Madison County Clerk on Friday, the end of the filing period, and they sent me back correspondence telling me they wanted a sheet of paper, me to fill it out on a piece of paper. I told them I didn't need to do that, but I went ahead and played ball anyways. I sent it in, and then they just let it sit there. They didn't do their job by law, and that's a problem. So there is actually a law, and if you give me just 1 second here, there is a law that says, it's Indiana Code 3945, that says that they must submit the filing paper to anyone that asks within 2 days of the date that they received it. It is a state statute 3945, okay, Indiana Code, and so it's absolutely something that these people are aware of. It's something that they have had no problem engaging in the past, and so that is a tactic, and this is something that they are all going to be wildly this is going to be widely distributed to clerk's offices near and far in the next coming days after we get through all this process, because I want them to know this very, very carefully. Well, I want them to be able to understand this.
Yeah, and the process is very broken. I mean,
yeah, there's no question.
Especially in Madison County. And I don't know if Kate can bring up this picture. This is a good example of what got through because they did not give us the information in a timely manner. I don't know if Kate got that picture in Messenger that I just sent her. For those of you who want to follow more of Madison County politics, I would follow Madison County Government Accountability page. It seems to be, this is a great one right here. So this is Tiffany Harless, who's voted
Yes.
Democrat. Russ Willis signed off on her in 23. She just took seat in the city council, right? She filed for precinct committee member in 24, this one we're in right now. She does not have a letter signed off by Russ. And so technically, should she be running? And here, to make even matters worse, Russ Willis notarized her paperwork. And so now we have an elected official who knows what the rules are because she had to have it signed off, but she herself doesn't follow it. This is what Russ is allowing to infiltrate the Republican Party. Elected officials who are going to abuse the system and their power and not follow the rules that are put into place. That is her fault for not getting that paperwork in. And the fact that it's been allowed is just disgusting.
Absolutely.
And it's not about the person. It's about people taking advantage of the process, believing they are bigger and better than the process. But then the other people, the peasants, they have to follow the process or they're challenged. And that's the problem. You know, and that's the thing. If I can't get Russ Willis to answer his phone, what do you people want me to do? You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with the caucus. I knew I didn't have a chance, but I wanted to show how broken the process is. When a Republican chair attacks a Republican person and blatantly lies that I have a Democrat voting history, there should be some problems with that Republican chair. And he even writes in his email, I don't deal with half-truth or lies. And I'm tired of the backlash on social media and podcasts. Well, who's the liar? Russ? So with that being said, if Kate can play the first clip in the first few minutes, I want you to listen. This part is boring, but we have several people who are being challenged on their address.
Is this your video or Kristopher's?
It's going to be Kristopher's video. These couple of people in the first few minutes, they're being challenged based on their address. And Russ has challenged like 3 people on their address. Listen to this.
You're going to have to give me timestamps so I
should-
know where
It
to.
should be right there, like it's right at the beginning.
Okay.
So just focus it when it focuses right on the election board right up front. It's right there. Yeah, here we go.
We found that there's essentially been administrative error through the DMV when she.
Administrative error.
Properly, and got a new license and registered again at the DMV with the new address. So the statute allows that the election division can send the change of name as they file as a candidate over to voter registration, and voter registration will change their registration. And so based on that information and a letter that we have from Jeanette Mansfield Stiff, she's happy with that. And so at this time, I would accept the motion to.
I make a motion to dismiss that challenge on Mansfield Stiff.
Motion made and seconded to dismiss that challenge. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed?
So they let that one go. They're going to go right into the next one here.
The next challenge was to Lindsay Washmuth, Lapel. It was a residency issue for her registration. She had moved and just did not get a registration change. She totally understands the situation. And there's been conversation that there'll be a ballot vacancy after the primary, and she will be appointed to that ballot vacancy by the chairman. So at this time, I would accept a motion to accept this challenge and uphold it. Just from the.
Okay, so you can pause that. So what they're saying here is that Lindsay didn't get her address changed, and she's filing, but because there's going to be a vacancy and they want her in there, they're going to let this roll and they're going to let it go. Well, you know what, Russ, tomorrow you're challenging 3 people who've put in for address changes. You're going to have to let them roll. Here's the other thing. He said, you know, they could take their card in and they could get their card in and they can change their address that quickly. Remember me having an address change? And he had no options for me. So this here with Lindsay Washmuth and the person before, they all had address issues. He let them go. This committee let them go. I'm not sure why you're challenging these 3 people on the ticket right now, Russ, because simply they've all put in for address changes. They should be all right. But I believe they're precinct committeemen. And Russ just doesn't have enough in his favor right now. Little double standard there. So if you're watching this show, you're up tomorrow, you might want to bring that up, that he did it in 2022. Now, when you go to, now let's go to the 2-minute and 40-second mark. This is where he talks about the new law that's in effect. You need 2 primary votes. He cites Indiana Code 3-8-2-7, Section 7, subsection 4, page 31 in the election book, and applies to all parties. It's Indiana law.
Well, I want to see. So he might have been a little confused because I'm going to tell everybody something right now that may blow some people's mind, but this does not apply to precinct committee people. So per Indiana code, per the understanding that Indiana has with the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, the precinct party positions are not actually like elected. It's not like you're an elected office holder. You are a party position when you're a precinct committee person.
This is so funny because we're going to have the attorney talk just about what you're saying on this show. Yeah.
So that's very interesting. So that's something that a lot of people don't know, and they've tried using that they've tried using it to help them and to hurt. They've tried using it to help people that they like and hurt others, going both ways. But that's something that people need to be very aware of. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And real quick before we start this, I want to make sure I start it because I wanted to double check to answer this. So Nicole is right. Just pretty much on any standard public record request. So just so people understand this, if you turn a record request in via email, and I always tell people, a lot of times people feel like doing it in person is the best. I always feel it's a little bit better to do it in email because you have a record. You have that record that you've sent it. They've got it. It's got the time, date, everything there. You don't have to rely on them to stamp it or maybe give you a copy. If you send it by email, they have to give you notice and receipt. They don't have to give you the records. They have to give you receipt. We received your request and we are working on it. And they have to do that within roughly 24 business hours after giving it, or within 24 business hours so if I do it on a Friday, then they have to give it to me, by Monday, just the receipt. Now, I always say if they don't do that within 7 days, because I think that's what the statute actually says, then you could kind of throw a little bit of a hissy fit about that. After that period, they need to really give you the response, the records. They need to give you those records or let you copy them or inspect them within 30 days. And if they do not comply within 30 days, you can then file a complaint. However, the asterisk there is for campaign and election information, and it's Indiana Code 3945 that states anything that you request that's related to campaign documents, campaign finance, candidate paperwork, challenge paperwork, anything related to the campaign and candidate paperwork, they have to give you within 2 days of them having it in their hands. And if they do not give it to you within 2 days of having it in their hands, at that point, you could technically, what I would advise is for you to call Luke Britt's office, and then maybe they can put a bug in their butt and then go from there and then go through the complaint process. But candidate paperwork and campaign related paperwork is a little bit different because of the fact that some of this stuff has deadlines attached to it. So I just wanted to make sure that we clarified that real quick. Okay, now, if you want to from here, go on, I guess, and play that section. And what are we going to be listening to here?
Now, this one is talking about the new law and how he's got to follow
Okay,
it.
okay.
Is Katherine Callahan, who's filed as a Republican Convention delegate. The issue is the new law, which went into effect last July, that you must have 2 primary votes in the party that you want to run in. And investigation and research of the record, Katherine Callahan has only 1 Republican primary vote. And that is listed under Statute 3-8-2-7, Section 7, Subsection 4, which I will read briefly. A statement of the candidate's party affiliation for the purpose of this subdivision. The candidate is considered to be affiliated with a political party only if the following applies. A, the 2 most recent primary elections in Indiana in which the candidate voted were primary elections held by the party which the candidate claims affiliation. 3-8-2-7. And
Now, Ludi is the previous Democrat chair. Ludi Watkins there on the left.
Yeah.
There was submitted a document from the Indiana State Republican Party citing that on that Indiana Code 3827, that they changed their party rules last year to be in compliance with that change in the statute. And so they therefore have printed out the statute. And if you go to page 31 in the election code book, it outlines it. And it actually, yes, it does on page 253. Right there. Gave you copies of that.
So we can just hold it right there. What happens in this process is Ludi Watkins argues there's another area. This doesn't apply to state delegates. It doesn't apply to any of that. Therefore, you shouldn't be able. So as we move forward, and I must have missed when, let me see, right after the 9-minute, because we did this one, they take a recess. Jeff Graham comes back after the 9:15 because we watched it in the reel. Right after, go past the 9:15 and see if that's when they take a break because Jeff Graham, the attorney, steps out. Is that
Okay.
Let's see if we're there.
At 9:15.
No, just play it right there and see if that's when Jeff steps out. Right where she's at, just play it. They do quite a bit of back and forth over the statutes. Okay, fast forward just a little bit more. Where are we at? Go to, because it was a 5-minute break, go to about the 15-minute mark. See if he comes in there, comes back from.
Yeah.
Okay, here's where he's going to talk about this. Listen to this, what you were talking about, Chris.
We might want to wait till 5 minutes or up. Anybody step out?
No. Nobody left.
Everybody said, okay.
Okay, we'll reconvene the meeting. Mr. Graham?
Yes, Board, I have the IC 3826 references a declaration of candidacy for, and then C is delegate to a state convention. So I believe that although not an elected office under the statute, it is the person that seeks to be in that position is still a candidate for the purposes of Title III. So that's that answers that particular part of the question.
Thank you, sir.
So under his rule, Tiffany should have a letter,
Yeah.
right?
Wait, what's Tiffany running for?
She precinct committeeman.
Well, under what he just said there, however, Kate, I am so sorry. You're going to kill me. And one of these days, I'm going to give you a whole pot of gold and everything's going to be fantastic in your life and wonderful. Is there any way, ma'am, that you can pull up, just type into Google, Indiana space CAN space 37 and pull it up on the screen? If you could do that.
Well, if you want, if she wants to go to the 20-minute and 33, and then she can go find her stuff.
Yeah.
You want to play the video?
Indiana can what, hun?
Indiana can 37.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to play 20 minutes and 37 or 33 seconds while she's doing that.
Yeah.
20-minute 33, yeah. This is Lindsey Brown, and he is a state representative, and he speaks.
This hearing was started. You're supposed to announce that if you were not, or if you were going to accept commentation from out in the audience or rebuttals. Now, since you did not state that by state statute, this is a public hearing, right? So you have to let the community speak, and you have to give them the opportunity to speak if there's any objections out there. Now, I just had a quick question and clarification. With that being stated, you said that she voted one time as a Republican, right?
In the primary, yes.
In the primary. And you can sign off on that, am I right? You're the party chair for the Republican Party, right? And does she have a challenger that's running for that delegate seat?
Yeah, there would be 15 others running for 12 spots.
Okay.
I remember this.
15 others running for 12 spots, so at least 3 would be without, right?
Correct.
And he did mention the Constitution. Now, I'm a Democrat, I'm speaking up for a Republican over here now. But right is right and wrong is wrong. That is the whole purpose of the primary election, is for the people to choose who they want to speak for them. And by voting against this, even if the party, your Republican Party vice president or whoever sent a letter saying that, that does not mean that it's just not posted so the whole community can see it. So that makes that null and void.
Reach it.
Because if she can't go into the website and find that documentation, then you cannot hold her accountable for that information that you have because that's your buddy sent you that letter. So that's not her problem. Now, if you go by the state statute and what the state statute says, if that does not coincide with what the state statute says, then that is null and void because the state statute, the state statute supersedes anything written from within a party.
He shushed him up.
So what Booty read off and what you read off are two different things.
Yes.
And that's where the debate is at. And that's where the debate needs to sit right there. I mean, I understand that y'all upset, but and then going after one another about who did what, who done that, that's not gonna get it solved. But finding out the difference between them two statutes is where you guys need to focus on. Thank you.
Mr. Graham clarified.
Who?
Yeah, Mr. Graham clarified. Well, here's the funny thing. If Marquest Higgins is watching tonight, he should be arguing that he qualifies for PC and he qualifies for delegate.
Oh, definitely. No, absolutely. And
I mean,
I'm telling you,
be able to win the bullshit. And I'm going to say that because that's what this is right now. I rarely cuss on.
It is. No, it is. You're exactly right.
This is off the chain.
Yeah, there's a gas leak in this meeting too 2 years ago, but it's just not natural gas.
Yeah.
The thing is, and I'll tell you exactly and absolutely true, and let you know this. If Marquest is watching this, you feel absolutely free to call me tomorrow before 1 p.m. 1:30, whenever this meeting is, at 765-546-9796, and I'll help you, tell you whatever you need to hear. I'll help you whatever. If you're like, you don't need my help. Maybe you don't. But if you want to talk, you're more than welcome to call me, 765-546-9796. I'll help you however I can. Katherine is absolutely correct. And if or when Kate is able to find a CAN 37.
She's got it. But here's the other thing I'm going to tell you, Chris. There are 5 other people that he is challenging for state delegate and for precinct committeeman. that are all under this rule. So I'm just letting you know, all those people should be able to go. This doesn't apply to them.
Yeah, absolutely. So what this says, folks, I want to be real clear here to everybody watching this. Kate, can you blow it up one more time? The plus symbol. She might not be there.
It's big on our screen. You're just using your phone.
Okay. Well, I'm reading it from a. All right, hold on. Take me back up to the top there. Just so everyone sees this. This is declaration of candidacy for precinct committeeman or state delegate. Okay, and I want to tell everybody that is different. That says CAN 37 to run for commissioner, to run for coroner, to run for sheriff, to run for mayor. Things like that. Well, in the county, what you're doing is you're filling out a CAN 2. This is a CAN 37. So this is Delaware, or this is delegate or precinct committee person. And so like everywhere else, you fill in your name, you fill in your registered voter. Now, if you go down to number 4 says, I comply with all requirements under the laws of the state of Indiana and any candidate requirements set by my party's rules to be a candidate for this office. If required by my political party rules, I have attached a statement of county chairman of the county in which I reside and am a member of the political party which I claim. So, number 4, what it's saying when it says I comply with all requirements under the state law, it means I'm not a felon. I live where I say I live. I'm a registered voter. I'm of age, yada, yada, yada. That's what it's saying it's complying with. But then beyond that, it says that they are then complying with candidate requirements set by my party's rules. And as we know, the party's rules are not part of the law that it takes to run for office. And so that's very important. And no, that subsection is not on CAN 2. That's not on subsection CAN 2. And Alice says, has anybody read the Constitution? None of this is in there. And she's exactly right. When it comes to running for office, this is not running for office. This is running for a party position, and it's set up by the party rules. So if I want to have a club, and I want to call it the Bilbrey is Awesome Club, and I'm going to be president and king emperor of the Bilbrey is Awesome Club, and I'm going to have party members, and I have you come in, I can set up those rules. And if you want to come into my party and you want to be a part of my party and you want to run for a seat, you have to comply with my rules. That's just with the party. And what she is saying, there are no parties in the Constitution, and she's exactly correct. And you are more than capable of filing as a libertarian or filing as an independent and doing all of that. You do not have to file under a party. You don't have to claim party. And matter of fact, it would be maybe a little bit better if people didn't, but there's a little bit of hassle to that, which is a bunch of bull crap. Okay. So I agree.
This is real interesting for the people, and that's why we're bringing this up tonight, so that they don't find the same loophole that David Williams is caught up, right? So that's the thing. They should be able to go ahead. This should not even be a challenge.
Yeah.
So this again is how somebody is abusing their power.
Yeah.
To use the process when they feel they want to use it and when they feel they don't want to use it. So if we watch, so now what gets even more interesting is, I don't know where we were on that video, Kate.
We were about 3 minutes past. So we're about 23 minutes, 24 minutes.
Okay, if we can go to we did the 23? Did we do 23 and 31?
We've done that.
Okay, can we go to 24 and 20?
24 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yep. This is where they say, we are here to uphold the law. This is the clerk speaking. Okay? And watch her body language as she starts saying this. Watch
Wait a minute.
this.
Is it on screen? Do you see it on screen?
No.
Oh. I thought I was freaking out there for a second. Doop, 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 doop. Okay.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
No,
and
you're fine. You're
turned
fine.
the dumb thing off, and
You're fine.
it happens.
Well, sometimes here it doesn't let me see. You guys are seeing stuff I don't see.
It's due to the law. We have to uphold the law. You're more than welcome to take it up with the state if you would like to.
42 USC 1983 removes your civil immunity from this choice.
So she's saying you can take it up with the state.
Choose wisely.
I'm not saying I didn't vote. Am I voting?
This time.
I'm abstaining from this vote because this is a political thing and it really doesn't involve the Democrats or the county voters or the county office holders. It's a party thing, party rule, and so I'm abstaining.
See, she doesn't agree with this whole thing. She doesn't agree with the county attorney. She doesn't agree with Russ. She feels that this rule does not apply to state delegates.
Last one.
She's right.
Is
As Yoko has said here, Indiana GOP Rule 1-13 says Republican in their last primary only.
Yes.
Well, I can't say only. It just says Republican in their last primary.
I bring that to you under IC code. Mr. Dixon, thank you. Under 3827, it says this declaration, each candidate required by this chapter must be signed before a person authorized to administer oath to contain the following information. A statement that the candidate is a registered voter and the location of the candidate's precinct and township, county, and state. And moving down to section 5, a statement that the candidate complies with all requirements under laws to be a candidate of above office, including applicable residency requirements. And under section 7A, statement that the candidate has attached either of the following to the declaration: a copy of a statement of economic interest, file stamped by the office required to receive the statement of economic interest, a receipt or a photocopy of a receipt showing that a statement of economic interest has been filed. And we have documentation from the voter registration office in the state system showing that Alice Flowers is not registered to vote. And the file card authorization to cancel registration that was filed with the office on the 17th day of December 2020. Authorization to cancel registration. And when she did file, she filed an economic interest form.
Okay, so I don't know why it didn't show at 2420 when she says we should uphold the law.
And
She talks, the clerk talks about that, and then they vote. So however, we've missed a little bit of that at 2420. That's where I had a timestamp. But anyways, Livia's really uncomfortable. They go back and forth and they banter. He calls Alice up there. They go back and forth. And then he tells Alice, he's like, I really don't know who you are. You called her up there, and he makes her state her name after she's been talking for a while. It's the dumbest thing. But, but if you could go to the 32:54 second mark, this is where Alice asks for the information and for this challenge to be performed. Okay, this is an important part.
Yeah, this is good.
do you have anything else to present, Ms. Fox?
No, but I request that you present that statute, that original statute, and who signed it, so I can investigate as to the title holders that signed that statute.
We can get you that information.
So this decision needs to be paused until that gets to me.
No, we will make the decision. And if it would happen to be changed, we can change it. So watch your steps.
So we'll stop right there where Russ says, hey, listen, I'm not going to get you that information. We're not going to pause this. So if we bring up the next video, This is kind of where Russ will ask for information, and he's wanting to postpone it. And they're like, no, we're not, you're going to make a decision. So let's flip to the next video.
And that's your video?
That's my video.
Okay. And what is this that we're watching?
So this is the challenge of 2023.
Okay, so that was 2022.
That was 2022.
And this is 2023.
Uh-huh.
And what time period do we need?
So let's see. Again, he speaks at go to the 4-minute, 30-second mark. He's going to reiterate again in the 2023 about the 2 primary rule.
People filing for.
That's fine.
And dismissed. Here we have 4 challenges that we're going to deal with today. People filing for be a candidate, and all of them, interesting enough, are based on the law that went into effect July of 2021 of having not voted in 2 consecutive primaries as the law requires. First one is
so go ahead and pause that. So then let's fast forward, because everybody knows what the answer is. It's the 2 primary. Go to the 7-minute and 50-second mark. You're going to, now this is City Councilman Ollie Dixon begins to speak about this 2 primary rule.
Yeah.
Cody moved in from another state, a person turning 18 years of age. Would they be eliminated from running just because they haven't voted in 2 consecutive primaries or 2 consecutive general elections? Tell me the logic of that.
the general elections do not apply. It's the primaries only.
Again, you're restricting a person just turned 18, eligible to vote. You're saying they do not have a right to exercise their constitution and human right by voting.
They can vote, but if they don't vote in the primary that they want to run in, then they're not qualified. The only exception is with a waiver from the county chairman of that party.
See Linda shaking her head?
Yeah.
Worse. In this situation, we have county
Now watch
chairman
this.
who's also a candidate. Let's take a situation where what if that person had a challenger? Could he rule against his challenger for the same office just because he didn't vote in 2 consecutive primaries?
Yes.
That's not liberty. That's not right.
You need to contact your state legislature.
And I intend to. What I'm saying is, it is something that President NAACP, Civil Liberties Union, I'll go with him or whomever. We're talking about human rights. You guys are denying people their right to vote.
Not vote.
Where I believe it's
Right.
biased.
And they clarify that. Listen to this 9 minute and 45 second when Russ speaks.
Y'all
It's coming up here.
people, but yet still you're going to deny people's right to vote, to run an election.
We are enforcing laws. John?
We are enforcing
Enforcing law.
laws.
My opinion on what the legislature is doing is trying to encourage people to vote twice before they run for elected office. We're not keeping anybody from voting. We're keeping people from running. The legislature is keeping people from running for office who have not voted twice in their party from running in that party. I don't think it's that bad a law to pass myself. What's so wrong about asking people to vote before they run for office?
Okay, now hold that right there. Hold that right there. So
Look at
he,
it this way.
this is the Democrat person who's taking. So you got a Democrat, a Republican, and a clerk, right?
Yeah.
So he's defending this, right? Well,
Sure.
can we look over at Russ and ask Russ, "Hey Russ, why did you sign off on 9 in 2022 and then 5
Yeah.
in 2023?" So
Yeah.
then I get up here at the 11-minute mark. Watch. This is ridiculous. Because clearly the Democrat doesn't know this. That that Russ has signed off on all these people. It's at the 11-minute.
And Russ Willis willingly signed off on a gentleman who voted Democrat his entire time. Suddenly wanted to be a Republican, never voted Republican, signed off on him. Had another gentleman, Evan McMillan, who didn't vote twice in the same, rest signed off on him. So maybe that's the answer you need to get an answer to. The
Well,
question.
I will.
Yeah.
Maybe that can help.
So
I
they
think
never
that's
answer
what-
this question.
What I'm saying, I seen it done here for Jeff Harden, and I seen several other individuals. They went from one party
Exactly.
to another one every damn election.
And the
okay?
person he's calling about is the ones he signed off on. He
Well,
should let
but
these people run.
You're right. They're friends. They're friends. They gonna sign
Yep.
off on it.
Okay. So now go to the 12-minute and 32-second mark.
Republican or Democrat, who they sign off and who they don't.
But it's not equal.
That's no business.
Give us qualifications.
Business of
Yes.
the election board, who the chairman sign off
What-
on.
yeah,
and not
what
who
is-
monitor the chairmen of the party.
What is Tim Funk's qualification? What is Russ Willis' qualification?
To be chairman, they were elected by their precinct committeeman, just like that's how they got the job. They were elected by the precinct committeeman.
And you think it's fair?
Who gets elected? I mean, that's not, again, that's outside.
You
the
guys
purview of
choosing
the
who
election board.
run?
That's outside.
What
the
if it's the creation of a new city, new precinct or whatever? Does the same rules apply? What if no one has voted twice, 2 consecutive terms in primaries? Are they both eliminated?
It can be.
All right.
Unless they get their chairman to
You
sign off
overpass
on
your-
it. Unless they get their chairman to sign off on it, then they can run. But according to the state law, we don't make the state law.
So if Tim Funk had a challenger, and under the same circumstance, he could rule against that person.
He could not. He could add to the ballot or not add to the ballot. His choice, his discretion.
And you guys,
That's outside the purview of this election.
you
board.
guys,
We don't make the
Linda,
rules
you
just
sit
like that.
among these guys with that same opinion?
I have read the laws on it, Holly, and we don't have any choice but to uphold the law.
But you do have a choice.
That is your clerk.
The choice to Tim Funk.
That the law allows it to fall to the discretion of the chairman.
You double talking, okay? You're two talking.
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Okay, you're entitled to your opinion.
The law is clear.
You see why we got to change this.
The law is clear.
Look at what-
myself as well,
Yeah.
and there was a lot.
Well, and you need to remind them tomorrow, as I did when I started out a thing, that
Yep.
I started out by reading the words of the people in prior years, and you need to remind them that in years past they said they were here to uphold the law.
Yeah. So go to, we're gonna, I mean, it gets real heated.
Chairman of your party, you shouldn't be able to do that.
Go to the 34-minute mark.
And I got no problem with, I like
Larry McClendon. I'm the president.
Is this
of
the
local
34-minute mark?
AACP here.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
Buffalo.
I remember this too.
Just a little clarification, maybe I'm slow or something. Ms. Donita Thompson, she got up here, she gave you the state presidents on this. She proved that she voted Democrat in 2 primaries. It was up to the poll worker. The poll worker didn't check it. We have other individuals from different cities that's been checked off left and right, who was Republican one year, now they get checked off as Democrat. You guys have been signing off on it all year. What do you have to table this for, Mr. Willis? What evidence haven't you seen?
I've not been able to read what she
You can read right now.
Now pause that.
It's right there.
He hasn't been able to read it yet, but yet what did he just do to Alice? What did he just do to Alice in the 2022?
Yeah.
He said, I'll get it to you later, but I'm going to rule on you. But now you're going to pull this. Well, here's the thing. So where are we? We're at the 30. That's at the 34. Go to the 36 and 30-second mark and let that roll for a minute.
Okay, they're at what time?
36 minute and 30 second.
Okay.
Now Larry's the president of NAACP.
Like this. My vow as the president of the local NAACP, I will take action on this. This corrupt political system in Anderson, Indiana will be taken down. You think you're the head of something? God has the final say so. He has the final say so. You have met the right brother, man. It's a new day.
Remember this.
This corrupt system will be taken down. And I vow to die by my word, sir. I vow to die by it.
Good night, Alva.
So the person who's sitting there taking the pictures, that's the paper, right? So if you go they end up withdrawing. Newman gets up there, they withdraw. We go to the 43-minute mark.
Okay, well, we need to deal with this today, but. I want
And
to say
Mr.
this,
Bostic's
I want-
talking about fair procedures.
Yeah.
This over this election, you have to make sure that in Madison County that we having fair elections. And you have to make sure that people, that people is getting the opportunity to run for office. You have to make sure, and you have to make sure it can't be just who you want it to be. If you want somebody to run, but you have recruited people to run against Mr. Dixon. You have recruited people to run against Mr. Dixon that was Democrat that you wanted them to run on a Republican ticket.
Yep.
You wasn't gonna sign off for them to run against Councilman Dixon. I know, but I was gonna say this. But we have to be fair.
That's the question I have. So if you have to give them a ticket to run, whether it's Democrat or Republican, the poll worker's supposed to give that. If nothing was marked, that means somebody could coerce the poll worker to just give out any ticket and could rig an election. So this really falls on the clerk, and I believe that was the Lycans at that time, and the poll workers and who orients these people, because if nothing's being marked, you're handing somebody who thinks they're pulling a Republican ticket, you could give them a Democrat one because it's not there. So are we rigging elections in Madison County?
And you can stop it right there. So here's the thing that's going on in Madison County. People will walk into the polls and they'll say, hey, I know I'm registered as a Democrat, but I want to pull a Republican ticket. They're telling them, no, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. There's no way to do that. That whole meeting goes awry. At the end of it, they're screaming and yelling by the people in the crowd. But this just shows the process in Madison County is broken. That's what I wanted people to see tonight. This isn't about people, okay?
It's
now,
not.
Mr. Willis has made it about people. Mr. Willis has made it personal. But tomorrow, you're going to see a broken process. And that's what it's all about. People are going to say things about me because of the people I'm challenging. Listen, if I go and vote and I come out, I said, Chris, I forgot to mark that box. Are you going to go back in there and let me pull my ballot? Or is the ballot done?
The ballot's done.
So I'm not sure why they don't have to have candidacy forms that are complete. And it just amazes me that this is going to be okay, that all of this is just fine. So I want everybody who's watching from Madison County, if you can show up tomorrow, if you can look at these people who sit up there, I know how the clerk is going to vote. She's going to vote the way that the swamp tells her to vote. And it's unfortunate because, we lost power on the 23 election in the middle of the heat of the final numbers. Something's telling me I'm starting to believe something doesn't smell right in Madison County. The clerk has an obligation to make sure that we have fair elections. But she's almost skewing the law to represent only the swamp. This can't continue like this. So I'll be interested to see what happens tomorrow. To me, these challenges need to take place. They need to be fair. The law needs to be followed. And what will interest you the most is that the county will have an attorney, but the people won't. And here's what I want to remind everybody. That county attorney is paid for by the taxpayers.
Yeah.
He should be representing the taxpayers first and then the elected officials. That's my take on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, tomorrow's going to be very interesting because tomorrow is going to be a tale of two different election boards. They're going to be going at the same time. And one of them is wildly broken, corrupt, and in my opinion, defunct, and that's Madison County. And I know I trash the sheriff in Henry County, But what you will not hear me, and you have not heard me for a while, is you have not heard me coming down on the government in Henry County. I think the commissioners in Henry County are doing a hell of a job. I think the mayor in Newcastle, he could be doing better, but he's the people like him. The city council in Newcastle, their people like them. The county council, it could be a little bit better. It's leaves a little to be desired, but the commissioners are strong, and the election board is a strong election board. They're a fair election board. Here is what I demand of these folks. I demand of them to follow the appropriate constitutional law, and I demand of them to apply common sense to the process. That's what I demand. And I believe wholeheartedly, as I sit here, I believe I'm going to make a prediction. I may or may not like or agree with every decision that Henry County Election Board makes tomorrow, but I believe they will be making their decisions based on the law and common sense. I believe that Madison County will go wildly askew, and who the hell knows what they're going to do.
They're going to bite
and I believe that's what we're going to see.
To spite their face.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And I think that tomorrow evening, if you guys want to see a big show, tomorrow evening at 9 p.m., when we discuss what happens at both meetings, that will be a big show to watch, because it'll be interesting to see what happens. And it'll be good because then we'll have those two meetings to then look at what's going to happen at Randolph County the very next day, which is at 9 a.m. Tuesday. And we've also got what's going to be happening at the state level at the state meeting, the state election commission meeting, which will be held at 10 a.m. Tuesday. And then it will be all kicked off. It'll all wrap up with what will be happening during the during the Delaware County Part 2 meeting on Wednesday. And I think that I got some tricks up my sleeve for them. I'm sure. Keep in mind. See, you guys have a little troll, and you've got the clerk, and I don't even know who will be the other person on your board tomorrow. Everyone else are just people.
Senator, it's going to be the ex-senator.
Oh, yes. Okay, so you'll be taking on an attorney, a troll, and a clerk. I, in Delaware County, am taking on like 4 different attorneys. And they don't know, in my opinion, and I'm going to tell you this, and I hope they bring it up to me, they like to be unserious and unprofessional in the meetings, so maybe this will be talked about on Wednesday. I think they all don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. From Pete Drum, Joe Hunter, Powder, the whole lot of them, they do not know what they're doing. They do not understand what they should and should not be doing. And I am going to force them to follow the law.
Well, here's the interesting thing. There are consequences if they vote incorrectly.
Absolutely, there are.
Yeah, they're not this team that's never been like Russ believes he's untouchable.
Yeah.
And that's going to be scary. And if I were, and this is me, if I were representing the Democrats tomorrow, if I was on that election board, I would look over to these Republicans, because there's only one Democrat challenge. And I would look at them and I would go, yeah, I'm going to abstain from voting from any of this. I want to let you two, rocket science, fight this out and show that your Republican Party is screwed up.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would literally leave it to the two of them to show, is the clerk clean, transparent, honest, integrity? Is she all of those things that you're supposed to have for a clean election, or is she bit by the bug of the swamp?
I'm going to tell you, and we're going to say this. I'm going to get real close to the screen on this, because I believe, now I know that you might disagree with me here, and I know that Alice is probably definitely going to disagree. I know there's going to be people who disagree. All I can say is Heather Bailey treated me well inside the election room the other day.
Yep.
And I know that Heather watches this, and I'm going to say this. And Heather, please feel free to take this back to Linda. Linda, when she came in, she treated me well. If you go into tomorrow's election board meeting and you do the right thing, which means you apply the law and you follow the law and apply common sense, there will be no problem. If you go in on some silly Russ Willis shit because, you feel like you gotta follow the leader, he's not the leader of anybody. I'm telling you, I'm gonna make your life a living hell. You'll be the topic of the discussion, and we will have you guys on here every night. We'll be dragging you through the mud and doing whatever we can. So if you want to say that's like, it's not threatening you, it's just being honest. I'm saying.
And I'm going to say to you, Chris, I'm going to second that. Heather has done the best job that she can. I am fully aware that Heather is also under the gun. She's the one that has to face Russ every day. Heather has been nothing but polite. She's been nothing but receptive. She's been nothing but kind. She has tried her best to get information back. But if Heather doesn't think for 1 minute that we are not aware that you're getting poor direction, we're aware.
Yeah.
So don't get stuck in the middle of that. Do not allow them to suck you in. Just like this whole records request. Heather probably was ready to go with that on Monday.
Oh, sure she was.
Right? But she was stuck between a rock and a hard place. This isn't Heather's problem. This is a clerk. You're only as good as your elected official.
Yeah.
She's running. I mean, somebody needs to go get Russ Willis's time cards. Alice, you need to go request his time cards for the last month and a half, because he has sat up in that election room. He's getting paid by the county, but doing election work business.
What is his title? What is his actual? Not the party stuff.
Weights and measures guy.
Okay, so he's the weights and measures guy. Is he the appointed person, or is he a chief deputy?
He's the only person in his department.
Okay, so he is the appointed weights and measures guy. All right. I'm making a promise, and there's one person I put this on, but I'll add Russ to that. I am going hardcore after we get through this period in the next week or so. Once we get through these challenges, I'm going to start deep diving very hard into what Ed Carroll in Delaware County is doing. He's the elected auditor. He's also the GOP party chairman. And I know for a fact he has been engaging in Little Hatch Act violations, which means he has been engaging in the political process while he's been on the clock and doing all of that. And that is a no-no. And I know that he's been doing that.
If you can pull his, and Russ is in the same position. If you can pull his time card
for
the last 2 election challenges, I bet he's clocked in under weights and measures.
Ed Carroll.
And I'm just about over it. If we're not going to have a fair process in the challenge tomorrow, then let's just get it all out there.
Time cards. Measures. I didn't know he did that.
I think she's doing a great job. I know she's stuck between Heather Bailey. I know she's stuck between a rock and a hard place, but she does really do. And I'll tell you, I'm going to give a shout out to Scroggins, Mr. Scroggins, over in the other area where he checks voter registration and all that. He has been Johnny on the spot. I mean, within minutes.
Where does he work?
He is in voter registration.
Is he the tall, lanky guy?
He is. And I'm telling you, that guy, and here's the thing, if he doesn't have the answer and he's like, hey, this is the right department, let me get Heather on here, he does that. And Heather does the same thing. They don't put you through a 3-ring circus. Both of them try to be as efficient and good as they possibly can. I can't imagine what their life is going to be next week with us giving them such positive accolades. And
absolutely.
I apologize to both of you, but both of you do an exceptional job.
Yeah, absolutely. Pam, the immediate supervisor for Russ would be the
Commissioner.
3 commissioners.
Yep.
The 3 commissioners.
Yep, that's an appointed position.
So it's it's just like the mayor appoints the department heads within city government. The commissioners appoint the department heads within county government.
Does everybody know who Pam Richardson is? I'll let the
Mhm.
cat out of the bag.
Yeah.
That is Ron Richardson's wife, the ex-sheriff.
Yeah. I hope you guys are doing well tonight, Pam. I hope you guys are doing well. So
we'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't know if you're going to Henry County or if you're coming to Madison County, but it'll be interesting to see. I do hope that we'll see some of the big public figures come out, like Lindsey Brown, Ollie Dixon, Larry McClendon, those people on behalf of Mark West.
Yeah.
You know, I do hope that I will have it on Facebook Live for all of you. I do want you to be cautious with me because I will probably be at the podium a little more than I can run the camera, but it will be on the tripod running.
well, I was going to okay. So
And you'll have yours going too.
yeah, I'm gonna.
There is some word that we may have some internet blockage tomorrow. So if that happens, can you just turn your phone to record?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Will Henry County be live streaming theirs on their YouTube?
No,
Damn.
they're in a different room,
yeah,
but
nobody wants evidence.
yeah, right. But I think that Henry County has a minor, doesn't have anything near what's going on here.
Okay.
So it's a very minor process, and well, we'll just have to go through. We'll go through everything tomorrow, and tomorrow evening and go through all that.
Yeah, I just hope that we've been informative to any candidates who've been watching. We hope that we have helped you in your fight on the process, because that's what it is. It's a process. You, the people, it's a process. For the election board, and I'm not speaking for the Democrat chair, it's personal. They want to keep control of this county, and it is slowly unraveling. And I am going to predict that this is the last time Russ Willis will be our Republican chair.
I hope that's true.
I'm going to predict it.
I hope
And
that's
we'll
true.
see.
I think that would be I think that would be a really big change. I'm telling people, I know there's going to be a point in this year where I'm going to start kind of covering some national politics, because we are in a presidential election and that needs to be covered. But we've got so much going on locally. And right now, at least through locally, this election is going to be made. It's going to be won or lost in the primary locally.
Yeah.
So probably
this
what
is
you'll see
in Madison County, whoever makes it out of the Republican primary,
Yeah.
that is your new elected official.
Yeah,
I'm going to
absolutely.
say that right now. So if anybody is sitting here thinking, hey, I'm not going to get out and vote, Catherine,
Yes.
there will not be an election in Madison County after the primary. The
Well,
race is in the primary.
You'll still
we're
have
gonna
a
have a
presidential
general.
election that you need to go vote
You're
in.
still going to have that, but your candidates are going to be pretty much solidified in
Absolutely.
the primary.
Yeah. And listen, it's the same way in Randolph County. It's the same way in Henry County. It's the same way in Delaware County. It's the same way in Jay County. And so people, this is not a primary to set out. And it blew my mind in 2019. It blew my mind in 2019 when the city of Muncie knew everything that was going on with the FBI and the elected officials in Muncie and all of that stuff. And we had so many people on the ballot ready to run on the Republican Democrat side. There was a laundry list of candidates on both sides. And we had one of the lowest primary turnouts that we've had in a long time. And I was like, what in the hell are you people doing? And so that is just very scary. and I am working my hardest to try to tell people we cannot have that happen. We cannot have a repeat of that this primary. This primary is going to be made in May. And we need to get that's like a thing, made in May. It's going to be won or lost on Tuesday, May 7th. And so you need to get registered. You need to get updated. You need to get your shit in a row. You need to get educated. You need to get informed. You need to be talking to people. And you need to get out to vote on Tuesday, May 7th, 2024, between 6 and 6, or before, whatever you want to do. But you need to get out and get registered, or you need to get out and get voted in May, because it's going to be a big thing, and it's going to be everywhere. The election locally will be over in May. Now, you will still have your state election in November. You'll still have the presidential election in November, and those are all serious. We'll focus on all that stuff after the primary. But leading up to this, it's going to be a big thing going into May, and it's going to be happening everywhere. It's going to Marion County, not Marion County. Where did I see? Allen County's got some big things going on. Wayne County has some big things going on. Now, I'm not following those like I have, around East Central Indiana, but I know that there are some major things happening. And in Delaware County, we have a major chance to clean a lot of nonsense up. And Madison County is the same way. We have a chance to clean some stuff up. Before we roll out of here, I have to ask you a question. I've been getting a lot of contacts and a lot of calls today on a couple different things, and if people knew that you were going to be coming on here, and so I got a question, and I think that I probably, in all fairness, need to ask this of you.
Make it a hard one.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And for the viewers at home, you're probably going to need a dry erase board, a family tree, or a pen and paper, because this is going to get a little convoluted, and I need to try to make sense of this. So there are, just like Delaware County, just like everywhere, there are good guys and bad guys, and there are some unknowns, and there are dynasties and long family lines and friends, and all this happens pretty much everywhere. But Madison County is no different. And so I need to run down a couple people that are key players in Madison County politics and are definitely going to be key players in this election. And I know that some of these people. I know you're supportive of some of these people. I know that you're, so I want to give this the chance to get out here and to ask you if I have this correct. So currently, the Madison County deputy auditor, who is the chief deputy auditor under Rick Gardner, is a man that I've known personally. I've met him. I've communicated with him. I've got a lot of questions about what he's done over the last year. Honestly, I don't think that he's the best fit for the office. I think that Katherine would be a better fit for the office, and I am backing Katherine 1,000%. But Todd is currently the chief deputy, and he is currently a candidate for that office. So he is Katherine's challenger, and he's on the challenge. He's on the block tomorrow. He's being challenged. His name is Todd Culp. His wife is Jennifer Culp, and she is a current sitting city councilor in Anderson. Now, what party is she?
So she is Republican. She's also the president of the Republicans Women's in Madison County too. Yeah. So she's
so they're both Republicans. Todd Culp is running for auditor. Jennifer Culp is a sitting city councilor, and they have two kids. They have two sons, brothers Joe and John Culp. And from looking at all of this paperwork, we out here in the political spotlight land are aware that Todd and Jennifer's children are currently candidates for Madison County Council at Large, Joseph and John, and these are like young adults. One of them's like 18, and the other is like 26, 27, somewhere around in there. So they're youngish, okay? And they're brothers, and they're the children of Todd and Jennifer. Now, okay, so everyone keep that family in mind. Now, let's put a block up, and then there's another family that I want to talk about for a moment. And this family is the Norricks, and that is Scott Norrick, who is a judge, and Jody Norrick, who is a current Madison County councilor. Okay, that's correct. They're husband and wife.
They are. That's correct.
Okay, and they also have children, and their children, it's a boy and a girl, are siblings, and one of their children, Devin Norrick, he is also an attorney. He is running for commissioner currently. He is running for commissioner in this election. Now, Devin is the son of Scott and Jody. Devin's sister, Alyssa. Okay, Alyssa, not Elizabeth. Alyssa, she is, and here we go, she is married to one of the Culp boys. She's married to John Culp. All right, we've got this picture up on the screen. Jennifer Culp, Todd Culp, husband and wife. She's a sitting city council. He is currently the chief deputy auditor, running for auditor. Their boys are Jonathan Culp and Joseph Culp. Jonathan and Joseph are both running for Madison County Council. And then we've got Scott Norrick and Jody Norrick, and Scott is a Madison County judge. Jody is Madison County Council, and then their children are Devin Norrick, who is running for Madison County Commissioner, and then his sister is Alyssa Norrick, and she is married to Jonathan Culp. So, first of all, is all of that true? Is this picture as we have it right?
This is true. My understanding is the Culp family has 4 kids altogether, and then the Norricks, I know for a fact, have 5 kids, and Alyssa is their only daughter.
Okay. So my question is, when Turkey Day comes along, I mean, are these people going to have, like, is it going to be like a Madison County Turkey Day? Like is this going to be a quorum when these people get together for like Christmas or whatever?
I don't know. Okay, so don't leave out the fact where the Norricks have blended with the Culps.
With the Culps, yeah.
Well, they are in-laws. I mean, you don't get to pick who you love. It just, I guess it happens that way. And I know there is no mincing of words, that everybody on here knows that I am a big Devin Norrick fan. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie, but that family tree is correct. The Culps are in-laws with the Norricks. Jonathan would be Devin's brother-in-law. He would be the son-in-law to Scott and Jody. It would be really weird if Todd Culp was your auditor and he's got 2 of the boys who sit on the county council. But hey, you know, this is Madison County. You get to choose who you vote for. My big concern, Chris, and I don't know if you can talk about this, these boys have a C in their name. Yeah. Yeah. And there's quite a few people in that race.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, for county council at large is different than a lot of other, is different than any at large race like that's going to be different, because basically what happens is you pick 3. And so you could have 3 people, you could have 6 people, you could have, for the primary, you could have 100 people, but the top 3 vote getters move on. And then, you know, that whatever happens. So what happens a lot of times is people will go in and all kinds of things happen. You'll have men that will only vote for men, women that will only vote for women. You'll have people who statistically will just go in and press the top 3. You'll have people that'll go in and just hit the bottom 3. You'll have people that go and go odds. You'll have people that go and go evens. You'll have people that pick, you got a lot of that. But there's a lot of things that happen, okay, where basically what happens is the top 3 people will get it. And a lot of times that's why they will put fake candidates in to bump people that they don't want further down the line. And I'm just a little concerned with their ages, okay? I just am very concerned, first of all, with that. So, maybe they're great. I don't know. And I got to be honest. I don't know these people like you do or like Madison County does. I'm just going to say where I stand. From the very limited knowledge that I have of these people, I do not think that Todd Culp should be the auditor. Yeah. Okay, good. I do not think that Todd Culp should be the auditor. I think Katherine should be auditor. I'm fine with Jennifer on city council. Of course, this election has nothing to do with that. I don't think that either Joe or John, either one, should be on the council. Scott's a judge. He's going through some turmoil. That'll get figured out or it won't. Sunday. Jody is Madison County councilor. She's there for another 2 years. Or is she up for election?
No, she is good. She's
a district. So she's up there for another. She's up there.
She's been doing a good job.
Yeah, she's done an okay job. I had one question of her at the meeting where she didn't abstain from voting on her husband's thing. I thought that was a little hinky.
And I have talked to her, and she said she was caught up in the moment, that from now on she will be more aware of that, and she agrees that it did not send a good message, but she got caught up in the moment because she was so passionate about what the need was. That vote did pass unanimously. If anybody is concerned about it, it wasn't like
even if it's not like she was a breaking vote.
Yeah, a battered women or something like that. It was just a real passionate thing for her, and I get it.
So I can understand that, and I'm glad that she made that concession. Then from there, so that's cool. I don't know anything about Alyssa, and she's in all this a private person, so go live a nice life. Devin is an attorney. I've always thought he seemed like a fine, upstanding individual. I'll have to vet him over the next couple coming days. I do think that he probably would be better as a commissioner than who's running for commissioner against him. You know what I mean? That's where I am. Yeah. I will absolutely tell you, though, this does seem a little scary because you guys over there are really fighting to get rid of the Likens dynasty. Yeah. And it's never a good idea to get rid of one dynasty for another. Hopefully that's not what happens here. We'll have to see. Time will tell. But I do say it's better to get the people out of office now and put new people in to give them a chance, because it's always easier to get new people out after one go than it is to get people out who've been in there year after year after year after year after year. So that's also where I stand.
And Joseph Culp, he's being challenged tomorrow because he put his date of birth on his signature. So
that was wild.
And I got a question about that. My understanding is, of course, Russ restricts anybody from the GOP database. So we haven't been able to get into that. But my understanding is that Joseph Culp has voted once. So I wonder if he's one of those people who would have turned 18 before the people took seats. So therefore he gets to vote. I don't know if you can tell people that rule better than I can.
So his birthday is just right around the same time as my boy, who's born in 2005. Yeah. And they're literally born the same month, I think maybe a couple weeks apart. Brody voted in the November election.
Yeah.
But he was not able to vote in the primary.
Right. And so I think that's...
Why? Why?
Well, he didn't have an ID yet.
But if he would have had an ID, he could.
If he would have ID, he could have voted in the primary. So he may have one primary vote.
Yeah. Does he have to require a letter? I mean, those kids, I mean, they fall in a tough category of that 2 primary vote.
And that was the that was the argument that was made on the House floor
Yes.
by Jacobs and Nisley about you have 18-year-olds. They are eligible to run for office.
Yeah.
And the argument was, well, they can just get the party chair to sign off on them.
But see, that shouldn't be the case. They shouldn't be penalized because of that. So I want everybody to be clear. I don't have anything against anybody's age. Again, this is the process that's going on tomorrow.
Well,
he wrote
he had more problems with his paperwork than
there was more than just that.
There was more than just that.
That's my whole thing there. I mean, I'm not, again, it's the process that's being challenged tomorrow. I know there's a lot of Madison County people out there that feel like I've got this vendetta. I've got this thing against certain. I don't. I just want the rules to be the fair and for everyone. That's all I want.
Apply common sense, follow the law. It's very easy.
Yeah. And I want the clerk to err on the side of the people and follow the law. She errs on the side of the Republican chair and the swamp.
And that should not happen.
And that's where the problem becomes very gray. Olivia Pratt did it when she had to vote for me. You could tell she was extremely uncomfortable doing that because she knew. And so tomorrow will be interesting what they come prepared with and what we come prepared with. And I'm going to warn Russ Willis right now. I am not the candidate who's being challenged. That time has passed.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to put me on the chopping block, and
that would be a no-no.
That is a no-no. And this is about the process and the people being challenged. Be real clear with that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you all very much. We will see what goes on, and we will have some good commentary tomorrow to determine what happens everywhere. And we're going to have a very busy week. So if you're interested in what's going on, there's a lot of crap going on, and we're going to be taking notes for tomorrow to see what goes on then on Tuesday. And that will then all culminate with my final battle with the axis of evil in Delaware County on Wednesday. So we'll keep you guys all posted. And I do want to make a clarification. Thank you, Julie, for that that comment you made up there. But it's not RSV that we have. I don't have it. It's the norovirus. It's not RSV. It's the norovirus. So I don't know which I would rather have
RSV than have the norovirus.
Yeah, right. I would rather have. I would rather have the RSV. I don't want either, but I would rather have RSV than the norovirus. And I will let her know, Julie, that he is doing better. He's been doing better this evening. So maybe he doesn't even have it. Maybe it was just a 12-hour, 24-hour bug, and maybe that would be awesome. So, all right, I'll keep you guys posted. Thank you all very much. We'll be back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern here, and we'll at various points have some kind of video during the day if it works out. If not, we'll play it here live tomorrow. We'll let you guys know one way or another. So I appreciate it. Thank you all very much, and thank you, Katherine, for another great episode.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Good night. God bless. Goodbye.